A rare albino buffalo in Bangladesh, nicknamed Donald Trump, has been spared from Eid al-Adha sacrifice after a last-minute government intervention. The nearly 700 kilograms animal had already been sold for ritual slaughter when authorities stepped in, citing security concerns after it went viral ahead of Thursday's festival. The buyer was refunded, and according to the Bangladesh's Home Minister, the buffalo has now been transferred to the country's national zoo. Warm wishes to all our viewers on the occasion of Eid al-Adha. I'm Kripa, and this is Inside South Asia. Just days before Eid al-Adha, a bomb attack near a railway station in Pakistan's restive Balochistan province killed at least 47 people. The blast is the latest in a string of deadly attacks that continue to challenge Islamabad's authority in the region. And it raises a difficult question for Pakistan's military leadership. Is Balochistan slipping further out of control?
Look at the condition of our vehicles. I also had my own vehicle here. All the vehicles worth crores of rupees that were parked here were completely burnt down. We have suffered so much loss.
The glass has caused a lot of damage. Many people were injured from broken glass. May Allah bless the injured. Now we are shifting the goods and, God willing, we will keep them in a safe place because everything here is broken.
The charred remains of vehicles, shattered glasses, and an atmosphere of fear everywhere. This is the devastating reality of Balochistan's capital, Quetta. A massive blast ripped through a crowd of passengers and security personnel near the Quetta railway station, leaving at least 46 people dead and dozens injured. The Baloch Liberation Army claimed responsibility for the carnage, asserting that 82 Pakistani soldiers were killed in the targeted strike. This lethal operation highlights a monumental intelligence breakdown that has left the civilian population completely defenseless.
After going outside following the blast, we saw chaos everywhere. A crying mother was searching for her son, but he had already reached the hospital. On the other side, vehicles were engulfed in intense fire. Screams for help were coming from the train compartments ahead.
When I came out of the room, I saw that the house's gate was destroyed. A goat had been tied to the gate, and it had fallen down due to the blast. It was a very powerful explosion. When I looked outside, there was fire and smoke everywhere.
The blast occurred while the train was traveling through Chaman Phatak station in Quetta. The service shuttle train from Quetta to Peshawar was carrying military personnel and their families who had been traveling home for Eid. It's not the first time that the BLA has targeted trains in Balochistan. Militants hijacked a train and took a number of passengers hostage while en route to Peshawar in March 2025. The explosion killed over 30 people and injured more than 100 others. There have been numerous such attacks by the BLA. In February 2026, the Baloch Liberation Army claimed to have captured 7 Pakistani army personnel during their Operation Head-Off 2.0. A video purportedly released alongside the claim showed at least 7 men in Pakistan military uniforms on their knees while armed men from BLA surrounded them. The video also showed arms and ammunition that the group claimed were confiscated from Pakistani soldiers during the operation. The BLA unleashed what it calls Operation Head-Off Phase 2.0. This consisted of coordinated attacks in both major towns and remote districts of Balochistan, including suicide attacks, armed assaults, and arson. Pakistani officials claim more than 130 militants were killed in 48 hours alone earlier in the month of February. However, the BLA has refuted these official claims and reiterated that it inflicted severe casualties on Pakistani forces. The largest and most sparsely populated province in Pakistan, Balochistan, spans over 44% of Pakistan's total landmass, making it slightly larger than Germany. Rich in natural resources, Balochistan holds major strategic importance because of its location and access to the Arabian Sea. The province has a long history of resistance against the government of Pakistan. Since Pakistan's birth, Baloch ethnic factions have time and again risen against the central government. They've sought more autonomy, a larger share of the country's wealth, or even complete independence. For years, Islamabad treated Baloch dissent as a small law and order problem. Field Marshal Asim Munir dismissed the movement as marginal. He said about 1,500 militants could not alter the nation's course. Now his words echo back at him. Munir is now facing fierce domestic condemnation inside Pakistan for ignoring his own burning country and focusing his attention on quoting Trump administration instead of addressing the spiraling security vacuum at home. The roots of this unstoppable violence lie in decades of deep systemic deprivation, as the Baloch people watch the state extract immense wealth from their resource-rich land while leaving the local population in absolute poverty. To make matters worse, Islamabad continues to blindly oblige Beijing by forcing through controversial China-Pakistan economic corridor projects, which locals view as outright corporate colonization that steals their birthright. By prioritizing foreign masters and ignoring local grievances, the Pakistani establishment has pushed an entire population to the brink, leaving the state with no viable way to regain control.
In Sri Lanka, the world-famous Ceylon tea industry is facing the harsh impacts of the war in West Asia. The Iran crisis is now disrupting exports, raising costs and putting pressure on millions of people who depend on the trade for their livelihood. More in our next report.
Lush green hills and endless rows of mist-covered tea bushes have long defined Sri Lanka's central highlands. The country is one of the world's largest tea exporters, contributing around 5% of global tea production. In the South Asian region, Sri Lanka holds the spot for the biggest tea exporter after India, with Ceylon tea continuing to be one of its most recognized global brands. The industry is worth about $1.5 billion and employs more than 2 million people across the island nation. Now, the war in West Asia is shaking this pivotal economic pillar, causing instability and distress to local livelihoods. Iran has been one of the biggest buyers of Sri Lankan tea for a long time. However, since the outbreak of the war, demand from the Iranian market has come to a complete halt. In fact, nearly half of the Ceylon tea exports are shipped to West Asian nations, making the region critical for Sri Lanka's tea trade. But now, the scenario is a bit different. According to the state-run Export Development Board, in March, Sri Lanka's tea export earnings fell more than 17% year-on-year. Exports to Iran dropped by 38%, while exports to the United Arab Emirates fell by a massive 93%.
28th of February is when it happened. So the following auction, there was a drop in tea prices, which would have been, like about 20% drop in the prices, as well as there were about 20% teas which was not sold at the auction. So that's how it started. Since then, things have changed. There has been more demand. I wouldn't say it's from Iran. Iran is fully stocked, but there is other markets which has bought our teas, and gradually we see week in, week out improvement for the demand at the auctions.
The crisis has also created logistical chaos. shipping routes have become uncertain because of disruption in the Strait of Hormuz, freight costs have surged, and many companies are now re-establishing their supply chains and are forced to look for new markets in North America and South America.
We have seen a challenge in terms of logistics, supply chain, both raw materials and in terms of our export logistics. So while there is no change in consumption patterns, certainly in the Gulf, the hospitality is affected, Dubai, Saudi and so on, significant markets for premium hospitality, all affected by the ongoing crisis. That is probably the significant effect.
In the tea estates of Hayton, workers say the war is now changing their daily lives. For the families working in the tea estates and living on low wages, rising prices are making survival even harder.
It's difficult. There are expenses for my son and expenses for my daughter. Because of that, this isn't enough, sir. Despite that, we somehow manage to survive with the money we have.
Fuel prices have surged by more than 30% since late February, and cooking gas prices have also jumped sharply. Many estate workers are living on limited resources in order to cut down their expenses.
Prices have gone up a lot because of the war. The price of gas has increased. It's difficult for us to afford it now. Because gas is so expensive, we are cooking with firewood instead.
Despite the hardships, they continue to work long hours on the plantations, hoping to provide a better future for their children.
I am doing this job and I will continue doing this work. The reason I am working hard in this estate is because I want my children to have a better life. I want to educate them and take them to a good position in life. That is my hope.
For decades, Ceylon tea has been one of Sri Lanka's strongest global identities. But today, the industry is being forced to adapt to a world increasingly shaped by conflict and economic uncertainty. From global exporters to workers in the hills of Hayton and the countless people directly or indirectly affected by the war, everyone continues their fight against the current circumstances, holding on to the belief that better days lie ahead, waiting for peace and stability to prevail across the world.
Up next, we take a look at what else is making headlines in Inside South Asia Wrap.
The remains of 4 Italian divers who died inside an underwater cave while diving in the Maldives earlier this month were repatriated to Italy on the 23rd of May. The 4 coffins arrived at Milan's Malpensa airport, where footage showed them being carried off the plane and loaded onto a baggage truck before leaving the airport tarmac. The bodies were then taken to a morgue where the autopsies of all 5 divers took place. Before the rest of the team, the Italian diving instructor and boat captain Gianluca Benedetti was repatriated. Parallel investigations are going on in both Italy and the Maldives to determine the cause of the incident.
India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar strongly advocated for global counter-terrorism unity during the Quad Foreign Ministers meeting hosted in New Delhi on the 26th of May. Emphasizing India's zero-tolerance policy, he declared that nations subjected to terrorist attacks have the sovereign right to defend themselves and that victims and perpetrators must never be equated. The talks brought together U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Japanese Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi, and Australian Foreign Minister Penny Wong.
Severe forest fires are raging across northern India, exacerbated by prolonged dry weather and extreme heat waves. Extensive blazes have swept through fragile belts in Jammu and Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and Uttarakhand, triggering emergency containment operations across the Himalayan region. Warnings remain in place as the situation continues to evolve. Given the heatwave conditions in Delhi, people are moving towards the hills to have some respite. However, the conditions are not good in the hills as well. A spike in forest fires is common in this season.
Bhutan's Prime Minister Dasho Tshering Tobgay visited the Kamakya Temple on the 26th of May to seek blessings during a 2-day visit to Assam. The visit came after high-level meetings with Assam CM Himanta Biswa Sarma. Bhutan is focused on strengthening bilateral ties by improving cross-border rail and roadway connectivity between Assam and Bhutan.
Dhaka, which is infamous for crippling traffic gridlock, where motor vehicles and thousands of pedal rickshaws constantly compete for limited road space, finally might have a permanent solution. The city's police has introduced an AI-powered traffic monitoring system. Let's tell you more about it with this report.
It's one of the slowest cities in the world. A physically fit person can walk more quickly on these roads. Welcome to the capital of Bangladesh, Dhaka. With a vehicular traffic average of 4.8 kilometers per hour, the city is looking for a change. Dhaka has launched its first AI-powered traffic enforcement system as authorities try to control one of the world's worst traffic jams. The lack of public transportation and the unregulated growth of private vehicles are major contributors to the capital's traffic congestion. Additionally, poor road infrastructure and traffic management exacerbate the problem, leading to increased air pollution and economic cost. Despite repeated attempts to modernize traffic management, the city of more than 22 million people had remained highly reliant on manual control over traffic. Now, the Dhaka police link traffic cameras to artificial intelligence software, which is designed to automatically detect violations. From signal and lane violations to illegal parking, under this new AI system, the traffic monitoring cameras are designed to identify all. Although the coverage does not stretch across the entire city yet, authorities claim that the manual enforcement is expected to phase out eventually. As buses, cars, motorcycles and pedal rickshaws jostle for space, on-the-spot police finds often spark arguments and confrontations, sparking continuous chaos across the roads.
This is just the beginning, but already we have gathered a large amount of information and footage of violations, and we are analyzing them. Based on the analyzed data, we are preparing prosecutions.
But there are many challenges.
The first problem we face is road markings. We need to repaint them with reflective paint, as many of the markings have already faded. The second challenge is managing vehicles moving at different speeds on the roads, such as auto rickshaws and manual rickshaws. We need to address these issues. We must also remember that footpaths are for pedestrians, not for vehicles.
The Dhaka police is still working with the Road Transport Authority to address the issue, while additional features like vehicles driving on footpaths are expected to be added soon. The new system is currently equipped to target motor vehicles, leaving out the vast fleet of pedal rickshaws that flood the streets of the city, although authorities claim to be working towards it. The hidden cameras are hard to detect, forcing people to be more alert on the roads now.
Yes, people are now more alert. After receiving fines, they have become more cautious and are following traffic signals. The penalties are significant, and fuel prices are already very high. If a case is filed, it becomes difficult for families, as they have to pay the fines. You can't always know where the cameras are hidden, but now we stay alert everywhere. It's okay to spend more time in traffic, but we don't want to violate the rules anymore.
While Dhaka has spent huge amounts of money on traffic signals and upgrades in the past, experts say that the long-term success of the system would depend less on technology and more on the consistency of the enforcement of rules.
That's all we have in our show today, but before we go, here is a message from the top of the world. All the way from Gaza, a climber's conquest is winning hearts in Nepal. Take a look, and I will see you again next week for another edition of Inside South Asia with me, Kripa.